stretch. That was a big stretch.
You sound like you're talking to a pet.
Oh, I heard Dylan.
Oh,
Me?
Dill.
And I heard myself now.
Oh,
Slowly coming
hey,
in. Audio's being fixed.
beautiful.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Chronicles of the Grand Nation, The Silent War, episode 14. A lot of stuff happened in the previous session. I guarantee you should go watch it. And some deep things might happen in this session. So I just kind of want to let's just rush into it. Sarah, would you please introduce yourself and your character?
Anna. I play Tess, your favorite Earth Genasi warlock who likes to collect rocks.
Zelina, would you please introduce yourself and your character?
Greetings and salutations. It is I, Momo Jones. I play Zelina, the ever-loving Bard Luck.
Hi, I'm Dylan. I play Muffin, and yeah, things might be happening for Muffin. Brihik, would you please introduce yourself and your character?
Hi, I'm Xavier. I play the role of Brehig. And one fun fact about Brehig is he has a small apartment. It's like a little small, like studio, one bedroom. But around it, he has those like tacky, basic ass, like live, laugh, love, and other sorts of decors you would find.
That is
an
actually
Airbnb.
true, and I forgot we put that in the world one.
Yes. Yeah.
Vanu, will you please introduce yourself and your character?
Hey, I'm a goddamn motherfucking cowboy. My daddy was a cow, and my mama was a boy. Half person, half cow. That's me, a cowboy. Hoodalati, hoodalati. Life is a nightmare. I'm Van.
And then, of course, our
He
amazing DM, Emily.
He hasn't stopped singing that song for like 4 days. I'm so tired of it.
Oh fuck! I can't breathe.
That is
While
not
my
mine.
other
I don't-
players,
Oh my god.
while my other players are dying in the background, let's just give a quick, amazing shout out to Angela for all the amazing art you will be seeing throughout this campaign.
Thank you,
As well
Angela.
as
We love
Tom
you.
for the incredible music as well. Mo, do we have any merchandise announcements or anything to update?
Not at the moment. Just always stay tuned. Pay attention, to our social media and our merch store. And if you do buy something, wear it, show it, tag us on social media. We always would love to give you guys a shout out.
Anna, could you please update the chat on some social media stuff?
Of course, of course. As always, make sure you are following us on all of our social media: Twitch, YouTube, X, Instagram, TikTok. Come on and join our Discord. Again, I worked very hard on that and take it personally. Be sure you're checking in for announcements and things like that. Obviously, we're live Monday nights at 7 p.m. with Dice Rolling at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time for Chronicles of the Grand Nation, The Silent War. And at 7:30 p.m. on Fridays, we'll be having Hub Chat. This week, we'll be playing a game and hanging out. And I think that's about it. Make sure you're following along, guys.
What game will we be playing?
We're playing the smallest worm in Wormtown this week.
That is not the name of that game.
Well,
It
what
is
is it?
Escape from Wormtown. Get it right.
Oh, the last train out of Wormtown.
Yeah, you even got it wrong.
Yeah,
It's last train out of Wormtown.
I was closer.
I wasn't meaning to put you on the spot. I swear.
Actually, there. No, it's fine.
And I had to go to Steam to get the name.
Shut up.
She definitely did.
Also, I want
Leave
to
me
note
alone.
for all of our however many viewers we have, that is not my song. I did not come up with that. If you want to find some very good music, but very dumb music, check out Carter Vale. He's fucking hilarious. My personal favorite is We Keep a Little Dirt Under a Pillow for the Dirt Man.
Oh.
That being said, we're gonna jump right into it.
Quick little shout out to go please watch our latest hub chat as well.
Yeah.
It was wonderful. We got to interview our fellow rock queen.
What's up?
And by we, I mean Mo Chocolate.
Hey, that Mo Chocolate host, man, is amazing.
I swear to God. My patience. Alright. That being said, jumping into this. We last left off, courtesy of the wonderful Brehik recap from earlier. Our adventurers traveled with a bandit who, well, they found out he was the ex-leader of the bandits, Aldred Hollowbrook. They followed him to a nearby campsite, but not before having some spirited debates regarding the ethics and morals of whether or not to turn someone into the justice system on account of murder, even if that person was willing to repent for it. With this heated debate and some many deep conversations between the party and NPCs, they accompanied Mr. Hollowbrook to the bandit campsite where they discovered it was empty and all of the bandits were slaughtered. Looking around, they were ambushed by two invisible stalkers, and after thankfully defeating them, they had learned a little bit more about each other, a little bit more secrets were revealed, and someone might have found that there are people alive, and another one has a new nickname called Harbinger. So, as we get to watch the aftermath of this lovely encounter, we will go back to the bandit camp.
Sarah's the only one that's really gotten nicknames in this campaign so far.
Muffin, you have
Harbinger.
nicknamed every single person in this game. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
That's
it's different when a
true.
villain or an NPC gives it to you.
Someone's gonna go up to Muffin and call her baby girl, and it's never gonna be lived down. Wow.
No, I'm
Everyone
sorry.
else will be.
What you need is somebody to walk up to freaking like Muffin and just be, "My Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, it is good to see you risen again."
Jeez.
My queen.
It is the queen.
The queen. Okay. So, Muffin, you went off to the cart.
Yeah, she walks off.
You walk back in the direction of the cart, leaving Van, Zelina, Brehik, and Tessera with Braun and Aldred. What are you guys doing?
You know, oh, also.
Are you still bloody, Brehik, after the hit die and other stuff?
No. I am not.
Awkwardly pat the guy on the shoulder and probably walk back to the cart, because I think we also helped with the dead bodies already too, right? That's something we already did.
We ignored this one for some reason. I don't know why.
Yes.
God made it a part of the terrain, that's all.
Aldred had given them, he had taken that short rest to essentially bury them.
Zelina, after like looking over the book and discovering some things out, she'll kind of just look at the rest that's here and then just walk back to the cart.
Tess will follow back to the cart, just like quietly reflecting on life choices.
Life choices. You all solemnly walk back to the cart. Shoulders heavy. Weight now on your minds of what's to come. And you would find your car where you left it, off to the side of the road, hidden under like brush and foliage, undisturbed. Muffin, you would get there first. Shortly followed by Brehik and then the others.
Regulators mount up.
Yeah, you all file into the cart, it sounds like, and you get back on the road.
On the road again.
That is my jam.
Is there anything you would like to say or do for the remainder of this day?
Often goes for, I guess, like our communal shared bag, whatever, to pull out our map. And she will go over to... I'm so sorry, how do I pronounce his name? I always say Aldred, but I don't think that's right.
Aldred.
Aldred, okay.
Yeah, like the E is
I go over
silent.
to- Yeah, I go over to Aldred. So, can you point to where she'd be?
Well, technically she's not on the Crouzyan map. She's a little more north in Rexumia, but if you're trying to catch her, and he would point up towards Cinderfall here,
Alright.
and he'd show you that path, and he would say, there's other bandit groups in that area, so I wouldn't recklessly head up that way. But if Miss Olive is your sister, and we're talking about the same person here, she might not even know you're alive, to be frank.
Can you, tell me, is she working for the bandits that were controlling the sort of checkpoint between Crouzyan and...
Oh, it's hard to say. There's a few bandit groups. It's possible she could have escaped one and fell in line with another, or she rose her way up and took over one of them. There's multiple bandits that act as a checkpoint, so it's hard to pinpoint, but the Hopeless are one of them. Whether or not it's the same one, I don't know.
Finn just nods, hops out the cart and walks alongside.
You know, for what it's worth, Les. Me and Olive have shared tales and drinks of our pasts. She does speak fondly of her family, but she always spoke as if it was a past, something unobtainable. I'm pretty sure she thought you were dead.
Thought she was too.
Oh,
Walk.
if you want to give
She'll
a
walk
letter...
ahead. She isn't listening. She
Mhm.
walks ahead.
He sort of sighs a bit. Like, he's like, I understand. You know, like, he's like, that sucks, kid.
Damn, he called you a kid.
In his head.
She will actually, it's Muffin, and she's definitely dealing with things, but I know Muffin and how she sort of reacts to things. So she'll try and subtly catch the eye of Van and Zelina because she's pretty much confided a lot in them. So she kind of wants advice.
You know,
However, the reason she's not like actively saying it, she's aware that Van's maybe not the happiest with Selena.
it is what it is. But picking up on those social cues, Zelina would turn and smile and just nod her head. Like, is there something the matter, Finn?
What about Van?
I mean, if you look at him, like, is this a look of, like, come over here, or is this, like...
Yeah, it's a look of, I kind of need, like, I need advice or I need to talk.
Then yeah, he'd come over with a raised eyebrow.
So obviously this will probably be all in stage whisper at least. I don't know what to do. It sounds like her, but I don't know what to do. Are we going that way? I don't know. Where's the capital?
Well, the capital is further down this road. We can go that way after the capital, but I would probably say the first things first is maybe writing a letter. I know it isn't the fastest means of communication, but...
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Of course you can be honest.
I don't know if I'm happy to learn if she's alive for different reasons, but one of them being if she's fallen in with that group, I don't know if I'd be happy to see her.
Well, I guess let me
Did
ask
I-
you a question before you go too far down the upsetty spaghetti roll you got going on there. One, she's most likely alive. That's awesome. No matter where they're at in life, that's awesome. Two, we don't know the situation with the bandits. They might be called bandits because they're vigilantes. They might be bandits in regards to like the ones we met that didn't necessarily want to do what they were doing, but were being blackmailed. We have no idea. That's the first part of information gathering. So I wouldn't fill your head with anything super negative until you know for certain.
It's just I told you how I got to Delia, right?
Mm-hmm.
None.
I escaped. We were in a storm. Well, before the storm, we tried to cross over into the Empire, but we were stopped by a checkpoint of bandits, and Olive chose to stay so we could pass.
Has it occurred to you that what she's doing now is so that something that happened to you doesn't happen again?
She just sort of silently nods. It's hard to explain what's going in through my head.
Well,
It's all right, Finn.
Yes, for now, you could probably be happy that she's alive. You could send a letter asking for information, maybe? Asking to meet somewhere closer, maybe? And only then will you be able to tell whether or not you feel, I guess, a certain type of way. I know that won't help you in the interim, but learn things every day about people that we thought we knew or loved that change our entire outlooks.
Yeah. When I do meet her, can you guys be there? In case I do something dumb.
Well, describe them. Like, are you going to try to do physical harm to her or yourself?
That depends on who she's with, I suppose.
Well,
If she's with... Sorry, go on.
Keep you on. I'm just saying, if you want me there to help you make sure you're safe, then of course I'll tag along with you. If you need me there for an advisor, I'll definitely be there for you.
If she's there with those same bandits that blocked us from coming in, I don't think I will go about it in the way that I should.
Meaning you won't listen, you'll punch first, ask questions later kind of situation?
It's not right to say this, but they definitely have blame for what happened to my family.
Well,
Even if they've
before-
repented?
I think you're mistaking me with Brihic there. I'm not a holier-than-thou person. I'm not a person that knows all the right answers. I like to think I'm a good person, but there will be moments where I cross that line, and that's why I'm not parading myself as a hero or anything. I know that I'm gonna be selfish sometimes and do things that benefit my side of things.
It'll look at Selena like,
Well, speaking from someone who has done a lot of selfish things for themselves in the past, I can understand. But also, as my brother did say, you want to get all the information. If
Yeah.
she did join them for evil purposes, I understand you want to do something, and I will support your goals. But if they join them to try and fix all the wrongdoings that they have done, then we should take that into consideration.
I would look
Yeah.
at it maybe this way. We don't even know if the bandits that she are with are the same ones, but let's hypothetically speak.
Exactly.
If they are the same ones, and I don't mean to be like Brihic, that's kind of the weird part of this. I was just meaning more of it's been. I honestly don't remember how many years you said it's been since this has occurred, but it's been a bit, and people can change. I guess my question would be, is if it was the same bandits, and your sister has made peace with them and made them better people, and they come to you on their hands and knees apologizing about what they did, would you still feel the need to act as you have asked? I'm not going to tell you one way or the other is right, I'm just curious, I guess.
You see just a look in her eye. Definitely someone who is young and gone through stuff and probably doesn't have the greatest experience or way of dealing with things. Just a look of... I can't really explain it better, but there's a look in her eye of someone who has suffered enough that she's decided things for herself. And she'll just say, I spent years at Delia, becoming stronger because I wanted to punish everything for taking my family away. And you're not wrong. They could be reformed or anything like that, but the idea that maybe, just maybe we could have gotten into the city or into the Empire and I wouldn't have lost them. And the thought that my sister, I know that she might not be with them, but the thought of my sister being involved in bandits when they tore her family to pieces, basically. I don't know what to say about that.
Well, he kind of scratches the back of his head a little bit, like looks at Zelina. Well, I can't necessarily say I fault you. Because there'd be certain circumstances, those situations that would change, and he looks at Zelina like, I believe any of us siblings, in reference to family matters that would make us less amicable or even murderous. My question would be still, though, if that hypothetical comes to cross, or to pass, whatever material planers say, are you wanting help with that? Like, you swing, we swing? Or are you asking us to stop you so that you can get all the information? Because it sounds like you might not listen even if we stop you to try to get all the information.
I was thinking about it when I was walking back to the caravan, that I might want to bring that up to the group of, if it is the bandits that I'm thinking of, and she'll look at you guys completely serious, I don't want to spare a single one of them. I will leave Olive alive, obviously, but I'm not a good person in that aspect. I want revenge. I've wanted it for so long.
Oh, then we probably shouldn't tell Brehig, to be fully honest.
No, we have to, because I'm not going to let Brehig stand in my way in that aspect.
Do you want to tell him now, or do you want to tell him when we're potentially closer to where they're at?
I think we have a long time before we get there. And I think you're right that it is important to get all the information I can right now before deciding anything like that. Hopefully, when we're in Bycrest, I can get Aldred to send a letter, and maybe I can meet her before that.
Look at Selena like, yes, no. We gonna help this revenge streak, or do we want to call this revenge streak? Kind of looking at her like, we can swing either way.
Zelena will get down on one knee to get eye level with Finn. And just give you a big hug. And just say, I shall support you in what decisions you've made once you have all the information.
Thank
Give
you.
my assistance to put them dead. then I shall do so. And then she'll just look at her brother Van with a nod.
Well, that looks like what we'll be doing. Really no skin off my back for killing bandits. I might feel a certain type of way if they're peaceful monastery monks now, but revenge is revenge.
For the first time in a couple days, she does sort of seem a little bit happier, smiling. And she'll just say, I appreciate that. Does that extend to dragons, possibly?
Well, I don't see why it wouldn't. If you're talking about the
Because
really, really big one, give me a bit. Let me get a bit of better bow, please.
I have no funds to...
I know the perfect
Oh.
way to insert her tyranny. I just need like 10 minutes of her time and it'll be over.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to approach that. You know, I've also been thinking that I'm putting a lot of my eggs in the basket of maybe that vision was true. You know what I mean?
Or that she's
I can't
defending the...
No, just that this is all me. I learned about the possible frozen family, my frozen family by a vision, by a seer, and I'm skeptical enough to know that you can't trust everything that someone with magic shows you. You know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. I don't really like to see those unfortunate tellers.
Exactly, so...
I mean, I found the one interesting. It did let me see the whole showdown when the princess died and the dragon and all that stuff. I thought it was rather interesting.
So you believe that what she showed us is true?
I believe she thinks it was. And I'm no stranger to fey wild magic.
Hmm.
However, nothing is 100%. And I highly doubt a random goblin seer in the middle of the woods at a circus or carnival, whatever it was, is 100% accurate.
I'm just worried that I mean, probably like Olive, I spent years just believing that I was the only one that made it. And there was a part of me that hoped. And I don't want to dig that up again, only to realize that I have lost them. I just don't know what to do. I don't know if I should look into them more, or if I should just accept that they're probably gone.
He kind of thinks. Well, maybe when some of us are a little bit better at magic, we might have ways to try and send a message outside of mail. I've seen druids do this
Sort of-
thing where they can like.
Yeah, she
send
looks at you
animals off.
curiously.
Well, there's like an animal messenger one. I'm pretty sure there has to be some just normal messenger ones.
We'll
The
probably
only
just have
thing
Archie
is
when
the
we get to the
distance.
capital.
What was that?
So once we get to the capital, we can just have Archie do it.
That's also true. His probably would be better.
Is there any weird, like, stipulation? Like, I know magic is very conditional.
Well, I think the one that Archie might be able to do requires him to know their name and what they look like, I think. Mine, I
Alright.
think, is name and description. Again, mine has about probably a 50 to 25 mile range or so. And unfortunately, our map is in days and not miles.
What? What does that mean?
Anna came Emily. Normal D&D rules is a day like 24 miles. Because I think you can what? You can travel 8 hours a day, 3 miles per hour, unless you're on.
Theoretically, yeah. I made the hexagon so that I didn't have to mess with that.
All right, then unfortunately it'd be like.
You'd have to be closer.
It's a 50-mile, 25-mile thing, and I don't know. I don't think we're close enough for me.
No,
Maybe we can always just check every town we go to that maybe, just maybe, someone's there.
it's a possibility. Yes, we could do that.
I mean, it's roughly what I've been doing. Chasing rumors. Albeit my siblings are a bit more noticeable? No offense?
At least, you know for certain where Archie is.
Well, where he was according to what we were told, which potentially could have been a month or two out of date, but yes.
To be honest, I think he'd still be there.
No
If
more
it's
than
the most-
likely if the getting's good, you know what I mean.
Yes. Or hopefully the capital would have a wonderful amount of people.
No, I think he's probably
Now
getting
the-
serious with the Archmage lady.
That would blow my mind if that actually happened. Like, you imagine Archie, like, settling down.
Yeah, probably.
I think.
I mean, I could imagine you settling down too.
Whoa, hold on now. Hold on.
Looks at Muffin.
Pump the brakes there. I'm not settling down.
Looks at Van,
Looks
confused.
back at Zelina.
I'm not settling down, brother. I don't know what you're talking about.
Give it 100 years.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Or
now that
less.
we've sort of finished our little depressing party, can I ask, and I know this is really, it's really awkward to bring up to the group, so I figured I'd bring it up to you guys. Did we need to grab anything from those bandits to prove that we, found them?
We have the bandit captain, really. That's
Yeah,
good enough.
but are we gonna, talk about him when we're... Basically what I'm saying is, we've got the wanted poster, and I assume we were getting some reward from it.
Oh, you're saying if we got any... I mean, I guess DM, is that something we could have collected or something we needed?
I guess
we'll
I'm-
be guard with us. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we have
You do have a
Ruby
Ruby guard.
who could vouch for it. I mean,
That's
maybe.
true.
Yeah.
I know it's so messed up to think about, to be like, oh, well, they're dead, let's get our reward anyway, but...
I mean, you have to put food on the table.
We've got the wanted poster. It feels like a waste to not at least...
Oh, don't
Get
worry.
something.
We're definitely gonna get something. Don't worry about it. Yes,
Okay.
It was a sad moment, rest their souls. But we still gonna get that money.
We also have a bunch of things to sell, so
Doesn't it also feel weird as well to feel bad? Because Aldred he seems like a very nice person, or at least someone who is, as you said, gone through a bit of a redemption. But his men
If you
didn't
remember
seem
what
like they
Selena
did.
Said, wait, I don't know if you were there. You got upset. There was a whole thing that the men were being blackmailed and that he was set up because you remember he said he killed somebody. That apparently was intentional and wasn't actually a member of the Golden Coin and was a member of that Izanian rebels or whatever. They were blackmailing
Oh.
the men to push him out of the camp to do their bidding. They didn't want to get him even more quote-unquote bloodied hands. So they did all the dirty work so that they wouldn't get him in trouble. So in actuality, they
there
were
was,
blackmailed and used.
I've heard this said in stories before, that there's always a bigger fish, and that seems to be in this situation.
Oh yes, there's definitely a bigger fish.
Yes. More than likely. So they're
these
not
guys-
innocent.
Letter Q.
Ooh, what was his name?
I said someone with the name letter Q is the bigger fish in this situation.
And considering these guys were stationed near Bycrest, are we thinking... She sort of like does like a motion of her hands, like we thinking we might find them in Bycrest?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, either way, what they did was bad. And unfortunately, they're dead, so there's no way for them to repent or to be punished accordingly by the law, yada yada, whatever Brihick would say. But it was a bad, shitty situation.
Yeah.
So feeling bad about it isn't necessarily something you should feel weird about. It was a bad situation.
The way I'm sort of justifying it to myself is I'm helping Aldred, and that's it. That's how I justify it, is I'm helping a guy who I feel like is a good person.
Yes. Still has crimes, isn't going to be turned in, and is more than likely going to take your letter to your sister. So
Yeah, that's the weird thing, right? Is you
think they're
you read
dating?
all these stories. She just sort of turns slowly. I don't know what to say about that.
I mean, it was a joke. I highly doubt they would be, given the age difference, but you never know. Anyways, you were saying something. Continue.
Yeah,
stories.
yeah, I was just gonna say that you hear all these like stories about heroes rising up, these like holier than thou good people. That seem very realistic, is it? The
Nope.
world's kind of gray.
Yep.
But
There is no
heroes
black and
are-
white.
Heroes are only what the people deem them to be.
Yes.
Yeah,
Whether our actions are for ourselves or for other people, in the eyes of people, if they are heroic, then you become a hero. For instance, let's say, the city of Bycrest is under attack, right? Well,
yeah.
we do it because we're getting paid for it, to liberate
Mhm.
the town. But the town folk might see us like, oh, it's a heroic deed, they came and saved us.
Yes.
Technically would be
Yeah.
hero.
If you think
It's
about
kind of like... Go on.
Or just to say those all in the eyes.
and also, if
You were
you
gonna
think
see
about,
something, Van?
Well, if you think about the tavern that we don't talk about anymore, that whole
Yep,
scenario.
Ashen Tower.
Yeah, we killed a bunch of hobgoblins, which were sentient people.
We don't talk about this, brother.
I know we don't talk about it, but it's a point I'm making. We killed a bunch of people. Bad people, technically, but we still, quote unquote, killed a bunch of people. However, to the members of that city, they probably see us as heroic, seeing as we stopped what was going on that was negatively affecting them.
Yeah.
That's the whole, I guess, the issue with the heroics and all that stuff. When you hear the stories, they tend to leave out the nitty-gritty, bloody parts that come in between. Oh, they
Yeah.
heroically defeated the bandit camp. They don't talk about the massacre that occurred from the invisible stalkers, or whatever they were called, slaughtering all of them before we got there. They don't talk about the plant eating and replacing people before we destroyed the evil that was causing people to go missing. They don't put that in there because people don't want to hear that.
It's so... I think Mr. Brihick is probably a very... he is definitely like a really good person, someone who I love being around, but it's so frustrating sometimes that I don't feel... Okay, that incident when we went to the Hobgoblin's cave, you tried to talk to them, we had to fight. You also distracted the first lot. We didn't even initiate an attack at first.
Yep.
And then we went in and saw dead guards. I feel like, and maybe it's me not being experienced with the world, or maybe it's just me. I don't even know how to describe it, but I felt like they lost justice when I
you're not
saw
wrong.
town guards.
Well, you're not wrong. They killed town's guards, and what, if I remember correctly, was a surprise attack from a trap or something. And we're very happily
Yes.
chatting about it while looting their dead corpses, and not in a manner of, oh, well, we're just looting it, this is gruesome work. No, they seem to enjoy it, yes. That does lose a lot of sympathy towards that situation. Now, if you would see, for example, Aldrich, or Yeldred over there, Mr. Hollowbrook, let's go with that. If we saw Mr. Hollowbrook, the way he talks about what he did, he's killed one person in terms of quote-unquote an innocent, even if it was a setup. The way he talks
And
about
it,
it and the way it bothers him would be a situation where I'd be more inclined to talk it out or have sympathies for him. Maybe even his group after finding out that they were being blackmailed and all of that. But if they were happily enjoying it, then I care less, because they're killing people and taking people away from their families.
I just know that I know this is gonna be a thing that comes up later in conversation, that Mr. Break's probably gonna call us hypocrites. In that we save some people, we don't attack or kill some people, but we do the others. It just.
No,
She
I know
sighs
what
so
you mean.
deeply. I don't think he sees the world as everyone else does.
He puts a hand on your shoulder, like pat, and he's like, "You're currently going through the 5 stages of grief, like I did back in the town we don't talk about."
Yeah.
And I've still
Well, they
been
might
going.
call
through
you
it.
guys a hypocrite, but not me. I'm very strong on my morals.
Also, that's kind of
Yep.
my thing. None of us have really changed or bent our morals outside of, hey, can we maybe do this if it warrants it? I can't not kill things. If you ever tried
Yeah,
to
yeah,
not kill
exactly.
somebody with an arrow, you end up missing more times than you hit.
But that's the thing as well, is like I feel like sometimes he looks at us like we're murderers. And I've seen you literally have the power to not shoot, and that's because you make the judgment that you don't think this person needs to die. When you shoot, I usually think of it as Van's made his peace, or he knows that this is the right move. And I'm not saying right as in morally, I mean in your mind or your actions,
Well,
it is right to you.
well, if you want a breakdown, I typically weigh it on how much of a danger is being posed to my sister and the rest of the group and myself.
Yeah.
What type of people are they? Are they bandits that happily murder people? Are they bandits who don't like murdering people but are defending themselves? And then, how aggressively are they attacking us? Because sometimes things will attack you and try not to kill you. And even then, sometimes
Yeah.
you should kill them back because you don't know what they're going to do to you once you're unconscious. However, it's typically, in a world like this, you lean towards the benefit of the doubt of keeping yourself and those around you safe. If you were alone, by all means, do what you want. But if you're technically responsible for working together as a group, then it becomes something entirely different.
We think we need to do another group conversation at camp tonight.
Regarding this
And
topic
so-
or the other one you want to talk about?
This topic, I think we need to talk again, because we need to air out, and it's not, look, I know that's gonna sound like we need to remind Brehik what we're doing, but I mean, I think everyone needs to air out what they're thinking or what they want in future encounters, because we can't keep having these moments mid-combat where, you know, we're judged by, well, for example, like you were saying, you're judged for your ability to, where you cannot subdue someone.
I could use a dagger, but you're not going to get a lot of effectiveness out of me if I do so.
Well, yeah, you'd have to run up close, it'd be a whole thing. Asking Dressel to not do it, he's a wolf, you know? So I feel like we do need to talk at camp today.
Alright. Well, if you want to broach the subject, we can back you up if needed.
Yeah.
But
I think so.
last time I led that conversation. It didn't go well. But I can participate if you wish.
I think it's worth it, because I want to keep traveling with everyone. I don't want us to leave someone because they don't agree with everything. I want us to work this out.
And we also should work out that we're not asking him to follow our morals of killing. Just not to hinder or judge us on what our decisions are, correct?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Alright.
I'm probably not going to word it as well, but that's probably where I would need you two to come in.
Well, if I need to be the moderator, I can definitely be a moderator for this. I did
As
it
well,
one
I think there are certain topics we need to broach, like, for example, we're all a little weird that Tessera suddenly was like, I'm a sorcerer, never say any otherwise, right?
Oh, of course she's a sorcerer.
We've all assumed her dad got mad at her and told her to do it, but we didn't go any deeper than that, I don't think.
Okay,
So
you know what? We gotta stop and talk to the group about this. We've been having a singular conversation for a little too long.
Well, all right, well, at bed down time, we'll talk about both the sessions, and I will moderate both of them.
Thank you. Thank you both for talking to me, though.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright. While that conversation was going on,
Why did you message me that?
while that conversation was going on, is there anything else people want to say in the cart, like for Tessera or Brehik? What would you guys be doing on this day?
Drawing pictures of little pretty flowers.
Can't you just make little pretty flowers?
Yeah, but I'm drawing pictures of them. I'm making the flowers and then drawing pictures of them.
Okay.
What if she has druidcraft? She may not have druidcraft, so we can't make flowers. You don't know that, Daniel.
I used to not have druidcraft. I used to not.
Do you make the flowers of Muffin's hair?
I make the flowers muffin there.
Now my art is fully canon.
It's fully canon. It's always been canon.
I don't know. It's just now the flowers are properly there.
But towards the end of your day, as you bed down for your camp, you guys want to do what you want to do.
I want to make a note to something somebody said in chat. Best way to start is with angst. You don't understand. Every D&D game I have played with Dylan, they start off with a character that is super bubbly, super happy-go-lucky, and then like 10 sessions in, they unravel the trauma novella that they had hiding in their backpack. And I'm like, oh, there it is.
Muffin, I say it. Muffin is the least traumatic, though. Like they're not actually.
You're not wrong. This is the least traumatic that we have had out of Dylan's characters, but still,
It's amazing.
Nothing is happy in this world fully. It is always dark.
But if there's anything you guys would like to do during the evening, speak your piece now, because then we're gonna get back on the road to Bycrest.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, Emily.
Zelina.
I'm derailing the session.
You're
Zelina-
fine.
She
You're
literally
good.
messaged me, we're not gonna get to Bycrest today.
Zelina pulls out her
I
tambourine.
loved it, but that was a 50-minute conversation.
Well, this is gonna be 15 minutes. 'cause
It
I'm
can
not
be-
reading
yeah.
it.
You do what you need to do. It's character and it's development. I was just laughing to myself after a certain point.
Zelina gets her tambourine and starts playing it. You know, it's like, attention, everyone, attention. I need everybody to all form around.
Zelina, is this a group thing, or are we bringing everyone?
We're bringing everybody in.
Even all right, cool. All right.
Drezel makes a point of looking over, and he like plops down. Lambert also like plops down. He starts
Probably.
playing with the rocks in the fire.
Probably drying my hair after bathing. Coming back.
Your nose is extra shiny.
Fuck off! I cover my nose. I'm just kidding.
All right, everyone. Thank you for gathering around here. I, Zelina Cardano, shall be the moderator for this lovely group session here that we're going to have. It's been brought to my attention we need to have these discussions. And first things, we're going to start off with what happened the other day, or earlier today, at the bandit camp.
Are we gonna get a talking stick?
No, if you talk out loud, you can cast a spell on you.
Just use Brehik's marshmallow stick.
Then he can't cast spells. No, I'm joking. No. We're gonna pass Lambert around. I go pick up Lambert.
God, Lamb. Leave
Oh, I
Lamb
love
alone.
that. That's great. That is great.
Speaking rock.
You just put him like you have Lambert sitting in your lap.
Yep, this is the speaking rock. Whoever has the speaking rock is allowed to talk. Everyone nods
Muffin
in
nods.
your agreement.
Yep, Muffin nods.
Yeah,
I like
sure.
this.
Nuts.
I look to Braun like, what's going on?
Braun looks to you like, what's going on?
Oh, heavens. Yes, of course. It's,
I upcast Despot Whispers on Breed. I'm joking. You didn't freaking know. So like no. So we
Power
want
kill.
people's feelings about what happened earlier today at the bandit camp. And we shall start off with Finn. And I will walk over and give you the talking rock.
You hear the jingle jingle as you pass Lambert to Muffin.
Muffin for a second, like as she's thinking of how to start, she does that like thing where you're rolling a ball around in your hand, and Lambert's just jingle jingle. Jingle,
Jingle jingle. I want to say Lambert's like making eye contact with like Tessera the whole time, and like he's a soulless like rock like a rock elemental, but you can almost swear he's looking at you like, "Is this my purpose, mother? Are you happy with this, mother?"
why have thou forsaken me, mother?
That's my boy. No, my boy.
No, my
Father, help.
You're doing great.
I'm gonna look to Zelina just for and do a little quick glance at Van to be like, "You guys got my back, right?"
Yeah. nod.
Because I don't have to talk.
Yeah, I'm
Okay,
not
no.
allowed to talk. Somebody give the
All
talking
right.
stick to Drezel though. After this is all over. Please.
What do you mean? He's a dog, he can't talk.
In the most human voice possible, he goes woof. Like it's not even a dog; it's just a human going woof.
Morph.
Bark.
Alright, so I think it's time we bring up a topic that we've already talked about before. But I think it's time to finally bury the hatchet, as it were. Mr. Brehik, I know that you're not happy with how we handled the hobgoblins.
The ones that we don't talk about anymore.
Excuse me, I point to Lambert.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He kind of like looks and he's like, oh, whoops. Kind of puts his hands over his mouth.
I wanted to put it out to the group right now that I myself, I like to think I'm a good person, but I am flawed. I want to help people. I plan to help people. However, there are lines, or there are lines that I believe people cross that I do not feel like redemption is in their path. When we went to those hobgoblins, I thought what Zelina did was the best option. How we distracted them and went into the caves. I look at Brihik when I say this. When we saw the bodies of the town guard, and I'm also looking at Braun when I say this, because I hope that he understands my point of view, because this is before we met him. And as General here told me as well, they paraded about the bodies. They were happy that they killed them. I don't think people like that deserve redemption. And I'm gonna pass Lambert to Van to see if he has any more things to bring up about it.
He does the like, oh, me next. Okay.
Jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
Can I
It's
ima-
how it's
Can
the
I imagine,
diffusing of
though-
tension.
Can I imagine though, when you hold him, like you hold Lambert, you're not holding him like in your lap. You're holding him in one hand and you're gesturing while talking.
I talk with my hands.
There's just a jingle jingle every time you move your hands.
Yep.
He would say, for the most part, I would technically agree with Finn. There are certain scenarios where, unfortunately, redemption is not a path that I would go in lieu of keeping those around me safe. Because we all have a responsibility in a group of individuals working together for a common good to work for what the best of the group can be. And sometimes that does require to put aside some morals from time to time, not a we murder everyone we come across, but in terms of Aldrich's bandits, given the circumstances, we were going to attempt to talk them down, given what they did. We didn't get that opportunity. Given circumstances, like the Fae, like the plant, unfortunately, there's no question in my mind regarding those situations. The Hobgoblins, same as well, seeing that they killed Townsguard, cared little about killing Townsguard, enjoyed it, and very much attempted to kill us as soon as we ran into them. And if it wasn't for Zelina's magic, the first group would have also probably attacked us. So, it is my opinion that we have to be sparingly about it, but I will not condemn anybody for not wanting to kill. I simply just want to make sure we work as a group and we do not condemn one each other for our morality standards. I hand the talking Lambert to Drizzle.
Tinkle, tinkle.
And after about 30 seconds, I would hand it to Tessera. Because I know he's not going to say anything.
Does he look at Van, like, slowly and go, "Woof"?
I mean, he looks at Van, he doesn't say anything or, like, make dog noises, but he does, like, kind of give Van a look, like, what do you want me to do with this?
I do like the go ahead motion nod, like, say your piece. And then
For the
he
30
does it-
seconds, he just starts drooling and, like,
Yeah.
biting Lambert.
Yeah. And if he doesn't,
He doesn't do that, but he just sits there.
then I would hand it to Tessera.
Like, well, Tess takes Lambert, and she'll, like, as she's talking, she'll just kind of be like, I guess, like, petting him almost. And she's kind of like, well, no, I think I do agree with what's been said, and, you know, it's been brought up that there are also those of us that have a harder time with subduing should it come to it, you know. I, for example, may have a spell or two that might help subdue or hold somebody, but for the most part, if I'm doing damage to somebody in defense, unfortunately, that's going to be damage that will be fatal if it comes to that. That can't necessarily always be helped. Of course, if situations come, we're able to kind of plan out and we want to try to subdue. But I don't think any of us are necessarily against that. It's situational. I mean, I will also say that I think we've done our best to try to find compromises in those situations. Like, for example, when, you know, Zelena trying to, you know, Zelena with her magic and the hobgoblins, or saying that we would try to speak with the bandits first. Unfortunately, you know, that didn't work the way we would have liked it to. So we had to do what we had to do in those situations. And I think, you know, we have to have that understanding that sometimes there's just going to be situations where we do have to kind of make that choice. She'll pass Lambert down to Zelena. Like, I guess we're going down the line at this point.
Well, Zelena will take it as she is the moderator, and she'll walk over and hand it to Brig.
Brihig takes Lambert, and he is looking at Lambert,
Jingle, jingle.
and
He looks at you soullessly.
not looking at Lambert irritated, but looking at Lambert and have the look of irritation. Hold on. I have to do something that me, Xavier, am famous for. Heads or tails? He will look at Lambert and no, he will say, "Understood," and he will pass it to the left where Braun is.
I hold my hand out to Bron for a second. Like, please, I need Lambert.
Oh, I don't have a mage hand, so I will get up. Damn it. The one time I don't have a mage
Just
hand.
Zelena will take it from
roll
you.
him, toss him,
Like a bowling ball.
toss him like a hot potato.
Oh,
Wait,
and Zelena does what?
Tess has major.
Zelena will take it from you because she's the moderator,
Yeah.
and she will
Yeah,
take it
okay.
over to Finn. And say, before she
I'm
hands it over to
sorry.
Finn, you have 3 minutes because we have another thing to get across.
I'm sorry, but I can't accept that, Mr. Brehik. This is a conversation that we cannot keep having. You deserve, just as much as everyone else here, to voice your opinion. But you also need to understand that we have our own. We can't keep going into situations and feel like you're not gonna have our back. As I imagine that's how you feel. That's why I want to do this. I want to talk to everyone so we know what's happening in future incidents.
He will motion for
Get
Lem.
up. Yeah, I get up. Please. Stop. Let's stop running away from this conversation. I hand it over.
And as he receives it, he looks at it, and then everybody, like, he slowly scans the crowd. And he says, well, we have had this conversation, and I thought this conversation was already done and dealt with, but apparently, at no point did I not feel like none of you would not have my back, but I don't know. This particular situation makes me slightly second guess that. I understand you all have your own decisions, your own feelings towards things, as well as I. If you want to know my standing on it, it is not up for us to decide who is redeemable and who is not. That is not for our hands, and that will not change about me. Again, you may all have your feelings and opinions on how you deal with things about your morality, but mine will not change. I will not condemn any of you for what you do, but I cannot say that I will not feel the way that I do about your actions. However, it won't stop me from helping you all out, and it won't stop you all from being my friends. But, as I have said, and I have already said this, Finn, I will not put any of you in danger to save the lives of others again, as I did. However, I will do my part to save those who I can. Needless killing is needless killing in my eyes, and violence only begets more violence. You don't fight fire with fire to quench it. It only makes it burn that much hotter.
Van will hold up his
Again.
hand. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
Again, I have nothing further to say on the subject. I will not stop any of you from doing what you feel is right in your hearts. Very well. But I will still do my part in making sure that I can save as many people as I can. I'm not above you. I don't believe anybody morally is above anyone else. These are just how I feel, and it will not change.
Van will hold up his hand for the talking Lambert.
I give it to Zelina.
Selena will walk it over to Van and say, you have 2 minutes because we have other things to get to.
Well, sorry, sister, but if it is important, I don't know if I can put a timer on it. I do want to make a note. As somebody who has seen a couple wildfires or two, you can actually stop a fire with another fire. I know it was an expression. I'm just putting that out there. Not, like, more of a nature thing. 2, and this is a full honest question, and I will hand it back after asking. You made the statement that it is not for us to decide who is redeemable or not. My question to you is who is? The Ruby God, the Emperor? What gives them the right? Does it have to be a god? Does it have to be somebody? I'm not asking to play judge, jury, and executioner, but if some bandits killed anybody in my family, even if they wanted to repent or turn over a leaf, they'd be fucking dead. And I would not stop till I hunted every single one of them down. So, I want to know from you, who is the one that can determine whether or not they're redeemable? And he will hand the talking Lambert back to Zelina to Brihick.
She walks over to Brick.
The actual law, a jury of our peers. Those who would not be quick to cast harsh judgment, but well thought over a course of time. People of all standings and different backgrounds, and not just people with the ability and power in their hands to do so right then and there because they are emotionally reactive and not acting out of thought. But he'll say sound thought and reasoning. Again, I understand defending yourself. That is one thing. But going out, taking out your vengeance on someone, vengeance does not make you feel better. It just leaves a deeper hole and for a monster within yourself to be quenched.
Van does the iffy hands, like, eh. Doesn't say anything, he just does, like, the iffy hands.
Yep, and I look to Zelina, and I nod, and I say, thank you. I believe I've said my piece, and all that I am good with saying.
She'll nod and take it. She says, "Well, thank you." Well, and she'll look over at Eldrick and Braun. Like, if they were like,
Oh yeah, they didn't get there.
Eldrick does the, like, he puts the two hands up, like, I'm not a part of this.
no, she'll nod.
Like, he looks like he's, like, avoiding this like the plague. He is like, I am not involved in this, I have no say in this, I have no ground to stand on with this.
No, that's understandable.
Can I insight how Braun was taking the conversation? Because if I remember correctly, and this is just the recent thing that occurred with Aldred specifically, we were going to take him to the Emperor to pass judgment, not a jury,
Yeah.
not anything else. So that, again, just going with what Brihick said, like, that's the way we should do it. Well, I don't think that's the way sometimes law is even done in these lands, if I am correct, right?
Is there even a place in the Empire that would do that?
'Cause I think it's pretty
so if
much
you're asking-
whoever's in charge.
Okay, if you're asking in general what the judicial court is of the Empire, that there is a court of peers that the Emperor can consult and review heinous crimes. Smaller crimes or crimes that don't necessarily make it to the Empire are dealt with privately within the Ruby Guard or within local government. The different city-states of the Crouzyan Empire will handle their own affairs privately, so it's more of like a private settlement of sorts. If the crime becomes too heinous and it does end up reaching the Emperor is the one who passes the judgment and acts as judge, jury, or executioner for the betterment of the Empire. So if the crime is something that threatens the well-being of the Empire, that is when the Emperor can exercise his right to judge, jury, or executioner.
So then, each city-state doing it, like, differently to an extent, do they have juries, or is it still a situation where it's like the Ruby Guard-
99% of them do. Those, for example, with Bycrest, who have an outpost similar to the Ruby Guard, and it's fair that you and Zelina might not even fully understand, like, the full
Yeah.
judicial system from it, but at least Brihick and Tess would be a little more familiar with it. So if you have a Ruby Guard station, typically they will be the ones to take it over. If it's private guards, they'll typically settle it between whoever is the lord or lady of the town, the mayor, the town speaker, whoever would be considered the leader of that government, of that section of land. And then that section of that owner or that political head would then usually deal with it through the local guard system. Whether or not there is a jury system, that also heavily depends. Very small hamlets like East Hollow don't necessarily have enough of a population to warrant a jury system, but but most laws, as long as it like fits in the outline of the empire, it is handled, you know, in the most like humane, amicable way possible. And again, it really, like, the judicial system isn't really black and white per se, but it is left up to those in power who are in charge of that section of land, and they hold a personal responsibility in keeping the empire safe with their land. That kind of comes with the title. So it's like, if you're going to be, for example, Holly Spittlebush was responsible for East Hollow, so any crimes that were connected to East Hollow, she had to take on personally. And then, because it's such a small town for East Hollow, they had a very private judicial system where they had a small court hearing, and then, you know, they didn't necessarily have a big enough guard system to be able to hold trials, so they might send them to another town that could accommodate that.
Follow-up question that probably doesn't need as much of an answer. Technically, back in the town we don't talk about anymore, we technically we did vigilantism technically, right? What is the standard for that here? Because technically what we did by definition in real world terms was vigilantism, taking down problems outside of the law and then coming back and be like, hey, we solved the problem. I know in D&D, adventurers typically do a lot of vigilantism.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, what in terms is that here?
As long as your actions as long as your actions can be deemed as, like, the betterment of the Empire, 90% of the time it is okay. And as long as it falls within, like, the Empire's outline, like, it's pretty, I don't want to say loose on it, but it's a little more like, you went and you solved the problem, and that problem was affecting this town, and the lord of the town that problem was affecting was the one who said that you were good to do it. Now, if they deemed that vigilante caused a problem or was against the betterment of the Empire, that could have been different.
Okay, so as long as we go to whoever's the head of wherever and be like, hey, this is a problem, we are going to go deal with it, or can't.
Not even if it's a problem, if it's like some like middle of nowhere, like for example the Goblin Market. The Goblin Market wasn't affecting anything. Now this is where the law kind of can get black and white here, right?
Yeah.
Like for example the Goblin Market, that wasn't affecting any of the local towns, but it was considered an illegal market.
Right.
Now if you mass exterminated every goblin in the market, it would then be up to you, would probably be sent to the Emperor, simply out of, it doesn't fall in the jurisdiction of a local city. You're gonna, or the Ruby Guard, because the Ruby Guard can also enact their rights to that.
So for like finding a wanted poster that says there's bandits near Bycrest, wanted dead or alive, we technically have the legal capabilities to go in there and quote unquote kill them if it was deemed necessary.
Yes.
Okay. Again, out of curiosity,
technically by law.
Us Feywild boys, we don't got
No.
we don't got
But
laws,
you said you wanted to insight Bron.
Yes.
So if you want to roll me an insight, you can.
Yeah, just to see how he's taking the
I'll join
conversation.
in.
Ha!
Amazing.
I'm gonna use an
I'll join
inspiration because
in.
I
Stoic
want to
boy.
know. Fuck you.
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay, that one to that's funny.
Inspiration well used.
Between the two of you, he seemed like he was contemplative. I mean, there's still a level of like, Bron is like, you guys are your own group and I'm just accompanying you to it. He definitely has his own morals and his own standings on things. But he doesn't seem like he's against anything Briac said. You know, you would have seen him nodding along to some of it. You also would have seen him nod along to you. You get the feeling that he has his own stance. And you get the feeling that he's been contemplating a lot the past few days or weeks even. So he definitely has a bit more of a, you can tell his perspective has changed, but at his core he seems to, like, he's listening to your conversation and making his own conclusions.
Interesting. There's a lot going on in that head. There's steam coming out of his ears.
Little bit.
Well, does he want to say
Oh,
something?
boy.
I do have the talking language.
Yeah, give him Lambert.
Vertical.
You give a bit. I'm curious.
He'll like, if you look at him and you make eye contact, he'll like kind of motion like if you want me to. Like, he doesn't look like he's like, I want to talk, but he's like, I'll talk if you ask me to.
Well, I'm looking at him like, it's only if you would wish to speak. I'm not forcing you, but if you would like to say words, you may do so.
Yeah, let Emily speak.
Dude, I've been sitting here just like,
I know. You
listening
just
to all of
watch
you.
If he doesn't want to say anything, he doesn't have to.
He'll- Well, if you're like looking, Briek's looking at him, he'll hold his hand out for it.
No, I will hand it to me.
Yeah, I'm very curious what Bron has to say about it.
Holding Lambert, and he holds it like to describe, like he's doing the thing, you know, when like you sit your son on your knee, like that's how he holds Lambert.
Oh boy.
I love that.
He says, I'm not sure how much my opinion really influences this conversation. It's hard to kind of talk about morality in this way. I guess my outlook is a bit more simple than all of yours. I basically do what my heart tells me to do. I know that sounds corny to an extent. I simply try to do the right thing. And the right thing isn't always what you would expect it to be. Sometimes the right thing is avenging a loved one because a heinous crime was done. Sometimes the right thing is looking the other way when a bandit decides that their life needs they need a new lease on life. I think the right thing matters with the person who, in that place and in that moment at that time, nothing can be perfect and nothing's going to be by design. If you're in the moment, you can't fault someone for doing what they believe is truly right. If you get the opportunity to spare a life that you believe is sparing, that is valuable. That's a trait that very few in the Empire possess, especially if you look at Azanians. And if someone you love is hurting or was done wrong, yes, there's legal means, and yes, you should go through legal channels. There's ways to find a solution that doesn't always involve hunting them down and killing. I do believe that there's a level where, you become the monster that you're trying to hunt down. But I believe that no one has the right to tell that person not to do it. Simply if that person's going to come to their own conclusions. That's sort of the beauty, I think. And he looks at Zelina when he says that. The beauty of the Empire and of the people here is that no one's going to have the same outlook and no one's going to have the same morals. But what matters is what's in your heart and what you think is the right thing to do. And you can only do your best. No one expects perfection. No one expects all of us to not make mistakes or trip up once in a while. And sometimes those mistakes are ones that can come back from easily. But condemning, redemption, all of these philosophies, at the end of the day, it's the person's decision. if the person wants to be redeemed, if the person doesn't, if the things they do are redeemable. At the end of the day, you can only do so much. And the more you stress or think about it, the more tilted your scales could become, I think. I think what matters is that you're all kind, good people. And you're all just trying to do your best. If not for yourself, for your family, your friends, each other. And I think as long as you have those core values, that's what matters. And that case-by-case basis are going to happen. And it will come up. But I'm just a ruby god, I'm not.
I'm just a cop.
He's like, I'm just a god. So not everyone shares my viewpoints either in the god. You have the gods has not every ruby god's going to think the same either, so once again, it's the beauty of it, isn't it? He'll hold Lambert back out to Zelina.
Nods her head. Just
Has a very, like, I have no clue if that was helpful, but that's what I got.
She bows her head. Just thank you for your moment. Now for the madness here, the second reason why we're all gathered here. We need to make this fast so we all get some shut-eye, because we got some long travels to do in the morning. We need to discuss about, and looks over at Rock Queen.
We all look over at Sarah.
She sees you all looking at her and like raises an eyebrow, like, yeah.
You don't have a talking stick.
Beat you with Lambert. No, I'm joking. It's like we need to talk about being a sorcerer all of a sudden. And we'll walk over and hand you Lambert.
And she's like, that. So, DM, is there a way for Tess to tell if a certain patron is, like, paying attention or not?
He's currently watching the game.
Like, is he, like, sleeping right now? Preoccupied?
I was beaten. You have no idea.
God. Alright. She thinks for a second, like she's considering what she's about to say, and she'll say, yes, I am, going as a sorceress now. I know it was slightly discussed before. Van, she looks at Van, had kind of mentioned the reasoning. She's like, it's for the best for now, at least. And I understand if it's troubling to any of you, but I would appreciate it.
As you're speaking,
Oh boy.
Son of a...
all see as the rocks and the fire start to heat and glow this garnet amber red. And you watch as they start to form in on themselves and compile and mold almost like melted glass.
Uh-oh.
I take
Alright.
my from Tessera real fast when this happens.
Oh, go on. She's like,
And-
uh-oh.
You see a figure forming out of the rocks in this fire, and all of you see this man. Small. It's small, like maybe about like 2 feet of rock.
Oh, now he wants to show up.
And you hear him say, "May I hold the talking rock then?"
Oh, he understands. Yes.
And we're gonna take our 5-minute here.
Are we gonna have to kill your dad, Tessera? We might.
No, he's gonna explain it to us.
He's gonna talking stick us.
He's weighing the pros and cons, but yeah, take a 5-minute, go to the bathroom, get some drinks. We'll be back shortly.
Just remember, guys. Toss up that.
My mom texted me once.
And you didn't hear this earlier, Emily. Hi back, I'm Xavier.
Hi, mute.
here. We're live again.
Welcome to the hell. We're gonna talk to her dad now.
Great.
Why does his abs go all the way up his chest like they're one continuous stream of abs?
I don't know. How come you don't have a continuous stream of abs going up your chest?
Because I'm not made out of rock.
Well, there's your answer.
Damn. You're not entirely made of rock.
So, that being said, he asks, looking to Zelina, may I have the talking rock then?
And Lambert.
You put Lambert in the fire.
Please don't put Lambert in the fire.
He's made of the fire. He's in the rock's in the fire.
Yeah, you can handle it.
Lambert turns into that meme of the dog sitting in the chair. It's like, this is fine.
Fine.
It's so fine.
Lambert, I'm sorry.
And he looks to Tessera and he says, it looked like you wanted to say something. I figured you'd want to say it to my face.
He's like, I was.
Oh, you don't have the talking rock, I believe.
Hmm.
He, like, this malicious fucking grin. Like, I don't know, he's enjoying fucking with you a little bit.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean,
If we can put away the charades for now. After consideration and a slight change in events per today, I figured I best introduce myself to your new friends.
How much did his like whole soul hurt saying friends?
I was just about to ask how hard he bit down on his tongue.
There was like the sound of grinding rock from like the back of his jaw.
That's fucking.
Like that's his eyebrow
Yeah.
like shoots
Hey.
up like this. Like that's different.
Wait,
Dylan, high five.
I missed something. What did Dylan say?
Oh, I was asking you how much did it hurt him to say friends?
You don't have the talking rock.
He said
Dylan
like,
asked.
he did. Demir did say, "Let's put away the charade for now, shall we?" And he kind of like puts Lambert down and motions him to like get out of the fire, like you're shooing a cat off the counter. Like, just kind of rolls him to the side.
jingle, 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 jingle.
Jingle, jingle.
Back in the day. Jingle, 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 jingle.
Oh, to properly introduce myself, I am Demir, a Dao that presides in the elemental plane of Earth, and I am Tessera's father. I would like to formally thank you for looking after my daughter, and for helping her to grow stronger.
Van looks like he's refraining from saying something snarky about his hairline, but it's okay.
I was just looking at him like he's doing
You
extra
can go for the
head.
man's hairline!
What was that to Sarah? Sorry.
Tess was looking at him like he grew an extra head or something. Like
Can I actually look at
What?
Sarah and insight to Sarah like this is out of the normal how he acts? Like, is this the situation where your parents act nicer around your friends than when you are alone with them?
She's literally looking at him like he grew an extra head. Like she is surprised that he is doing this nonsense right now.
Okay.
Oh. As I said, let's put away this farce of a talking rock for now and have an actual conversation like adults, if you don't mind.
How dare you just ignore Lambert's contribution to this entire thing?
If he's not respecting the talking order, I'm not either.
Well, very well, Danielle. If you want to change up things how we do. Well, my name is Zelina. I was acting moderator for the group here, but I shall moderate your discussions with Tessera.
I don't think we'll need a moderator for this, but your contributions are noted.
Yeah.
So are you the reason Tessera tried to steal that dagger? Or at least got the dagger?
I am, yes. I asked her to retrieve the gem that was embedded inside the dagger, as I figured it would help us find her mother sooner.
And how would it do that?
Well, you see, I don't have all of those answers yet. Nor can I willingly share all of it. Insight? Yeah.
I'll
Yep.
also insight that.
19.
Hold on. My thing is loading because it's being a jerk.
Vibe check. Let's go.
Yeah. Average. This. 8. Great.
You could roll your inspiration.
Not for this.
He thinks he goes with a 19. He's not lying. Like, he definitely is still trying to figure out a way to get her back. Like, you can at least ascertain he doesn't know that. But you also know he's not lying when he said that he's not willing to play all of his cards right now.
Do you know something about these opals with spells in them?
Again, you can almost feel like the heat of the fire sort of get a little bigger, little more intense. Like he does not seem to appreciate that topic.
She just crosses her arms and looks at him like, go on. You don't scare me. I recently learned fire doesn't hurt me as much.
Oh my god.
Oh no!
Well, speaking to you all here talking to us, we do need to know all the information if we are going to help Tessera or even helping you out.
And that is why I've come to introduce myself cordially.
It's a pleasure. Could you please answer my friend's question?
Certainly. Those opals, they are not actually opals. I have a theory, a working theory on what they could be. I believe they are fragments of a larger gem. A gem that could possibly hold immense power.
Oh god, did we unlock that fucking Thieves Guild quest where you gotta collect all the stones?
If it's a Byzantium fucking stone quest, which I have done,
Oh
and all
no!
it
Yeah,
does
it's worth it. It is worth
It
it.
is worth it. All it does is it gives you too many gems to actually get money for, but you know.
Like I said, it's a working theory, and I only like to communicate facts. I do, however, humbly request your
Humbly.
assistance. La Familia. Interesting name. And he kind of looks at Tessera like, interesting name for someone with so many family problems, but he's not saying it, but he's giving a look. Like the irony isn't lost on him.
And she's just like, yeah, I mean, she's giving the like, yeah, but you know, it is what it is. And she's like, well, what do you need?
You'll be entering the city of Bycrest soon.
Where?
And I'm sure plenty of you have already heard of the rumors surrounding Bycrest and the sunken city.
Zelina just shakes her head like, yes, I have. But go on.
There's a particular treasure in that sunken temple that I require.
Oh.
Is it a gem of some kind?
It's a weapon, a trident.
A trident.
We did hear that there was potentially a treasure in a sunken temple, didn't we?
Yes, you did. It's in the next city.
Ah.
And this trident does what?
It belongs to one of my enemies, and I would like to see them not have it.
Who are your enemies?
Other elemental beings of sorts. You ran into 2 of them today. Well, they were mere pawns or figureheads to a larger plan of sorts, but
If we do help you enact your grand scheme over your adversaries, will this cause them to intervene or delve into our mortal world?
oh, that's the he kind of chuckles. He says, it's the game, isn't it? They're already here.
Are they hot?
God damn!
Really?
I look at Van like, you son of a bitch.
Well, no, that actually is a
No.
good question, actually.
No, it is not.
He, with all dead seriousness, looks at Van and goes, depends on your taste.
Well, do they look like you?
You like rock ass?
It's
Van's
like
gonna fuck
swamp
the dad
ass.
tester.
Like, do
Tess
they
is
look like
looking at
you?
you.
Do they look like Tessera?
Chris looks at you like, please stop discussing the level of attractiveness of anything with my father, please.
Well, it's not your father, it's his enemies.
No, but you're discussing it with my father.
You don't want your father talking about how hot his enemy is?
Right.
Enemies to lovers.
Please.
Don't you love a good enemies to lovers, Anna?
Anna, yes, very much. Tess, maybe, but not in this particular situation.
I do want to point out, poor Aldred is like, what the fuck is happening over here? Like, this poor random bandit is like, what the fuck did I get into?
Braun didn't know any of this either.
Braun didn't, but Braun's a little more like, he's been with you. So it's like, oh, that's a surprise, but he's still like, alright, I'm on board. This poor bandit who met you like a few days ago is like, what the fuck?
No, Ron is probably more like, that explains a lot.
I would look at Demir though and be like, all joking aside, if they're already here, who are they involved with? The rebels, the Zanian rebels, or other people that we should know about?
My information is limited to what Tessera has encountered.
Right.
Think of it this way. I'm not asking you to help me. I'm asking you to help Tessera. Your friend.
Uh-huh.
We plan to.
It's just kind
Well,
of weird that you know they're already here, but you don't know where at all. That's kind of Like, do you just know they're not in the elemental plane, but you have no idea where they are here? Or is this one of those, you have theories and you won't tell us things that are theories?
Mostly the second. I also believe that the sunken city of Lunwraith will be able to enlighten you a bit more of the situation. I'd rather you experience it than me just prattle on.
Well, that's all fine and dandy here, but so we do have to do some type of business. Yes, of course, we're going to help our friend Sarah out. But you said you wanted this trident, right? And
Yes.
since we are La Familia, a adventuring group, we could take this quest upon thee, but there does need to be some type of payment.
He starts laughing. Like a full belly laugh.
Does it sound like boulders clacking against each other?
A little bit. It's like if Santa Claus swallowed like a ton of rocks.
Oh, God.
No. What?
And as he comes down from his laughter, he says, I was worried about the company Tessera kept, but I see that you are like-minded individuals. Extorting a dow. Can't say I'm not impressed.
Are we really extorting you if it's simple payment for service rendered?
Well,
No.
brother, of course I could store it if I felt like it.
Well, I know, but is this not one for one, or is there something you're not telling us that is part of
Well,
the payment?
Well, this is all for the benefit of finding Tessera's mother. If anything, I'm doing her a favor. I'm simply just cashing in for a bit more help. I mean, if you do not want to find your mother, you don't need to retrieve the trident. I can find other means to get what I want.
Can you
Hey.
stop trying to
Hey.
gaslight her into getting a trident?
As Tess will like stop you and she will say, like, look at her father, she will say, yes, I will do what you ask for you helping my mother. That is our deal. They are not a part of that.
No, they are not, but it is not something you can do alone. And they've proven, considering how they handled themselves today, that they are competent in dealing with elementals. So I figured a little trust was in order.
Trust.
Yes, trust.
You're not really a family man, are you?
Ooh. How would he fucking respond to that?
Uh-oh.
And he looks at him like, because unfortunately a family man wouldn't hold the life of their wife and mother of their child over their head. Sure, we'll help her. You're saying that's the payment, though. That should be a given.
Van, was it?
Vanuth to you.
Right, Van. You see, while you, Eladrin, come from the Feywilds and have your own dealings with family trauma, which I've been very privy to, unenthusiastically, I would bid you not to talk of my family, and whether I do or do not care for them. If I did not wish to see my wife's safe return, she would not be returned at all. I would have contributed even in her disappearance. I would have made sure that she would have never serviced again. I would have, if I were responsible for my wife's disappearance, I would have killed Tessera on the spot, along with anyone associated with her. So I would bid you not to think poorly on whether or not I am a family man.
Can I insight him?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I want to know if that's actually the truth, because he reiterated, I wasn't the one who did it, like 3 times.
Yeah, literally, same.
22.
I'm gonna roll. Just 'cause another 8. I hate it here.
You got inspiration still, right?
Yes. You know what? For this. I'll use
For
it.
this.
For this. For this. Will it help? Love it! 17.
It helped! It helped!
It did help. I'll take it.
He's not lying. And I think that would surprise you, Tessera, more than all.
Yeah.
It is one of those things where Demir is not a good man. And he's not pretending to be a good man. But don't question that he doesn't actually care about his wife or Tessera. He may not show it conventionally.
He's a fucking...
For your reference, Mike, and I doubt no one really knows this, it's such a niche little thing, Andros Guile level of like, I might be the shittiest man alive, but don't talk shit about my wife.
Oh yeah, no, Andros Guile cared for his fucking wife. Van's whole thing was his argument to not pay us was that he's helping Tessera find his mother, or her mother.
No, I know.
And I'm like, that shouldn't be payment if you cared. But he does care, he's just weird about it.
He has to put on the facade because he's a freaking...
I'm gonna make his hairline go
And
further
it
back if
literally-
he's not
it's
careful.
It's literally how they are, though. They're just...
I
Stop
know
going for the
dour.
man's hairline.
I know dour fucking things, I know, but...
It's like how our family is, okay?
I'm gonna box him in the baps.
Quick question there, if you don't mind, revolving back to the opals being possibly part of something bigger. Is this one of them? I pull out my one.
Yes.
Do you know what's in it? Because usually they've had spells.
Remnants of magic. This one wouldn't have anything in it. But, since you're aiding Tessera, I'll tell you. Though the magic is long lingered, the amulet itself is magical.
My one.
Yes, there is a spell cast upon it that prevents you from being located by divination or magical means. Whoever gave that to you wanted to make sure that you were not found.
Oh, anti-divination.
But the stone itself is secondary. Whoever embedded the stone and made the amulet, I would assume, are two separate people.
Weird question. Those elementals you were talking about, would they be able to locate me?
They would not.
I'm looking at Brehik to be like, we can't talk and eat our heads, can we? Like, you can't. If I talk, you can't hear me.
Yeah, do you tap your head, tap your forehead? Just do it. Just do it.
Yep, I tap my forehead like subtly.
I say, "What's up, Finn?" in your head, and as I cast detect thoughts.
I'm wondering what would happen if we put this on Tessera. Would
Oh, no.
her father be able to see her?
Well, there is only one way to figure this out. We can always do this. Well, we know that when Tess goes into her little ring, she has conferences with her father, yes?
Sure.
Well, we can always try to give this to her and have her contact him, and if he's confused, then we will have our answer.
This is the equivalent of, like, what if we put Pop Rocks in soda? It will make our stomach explode.
We-
So, weird question,
Oh.
sir.
You have his attention.
I assume it's a gift from you. Is that how you know where we are? Can you see
No,
what's
not
happening
the
through
ring.
that ring?
Not the ring, my dear.
She's curious, waiting for him to answer.
Yeah, not the ring. The ring was a means of channeling my power through her, which I graciously bestowed upon my daughter so that she may grow stronger to aid me.
When he's not looking, she rolls her eyes so hard.
He looks at Tess like, you know how I keep track of you.
Okay, but like how? How do you if it's not through the ring? Because you seem to have a lot of advice when we're mid-fighting. So clearly you can see what we're doing.
Would you want to show them to Sarah? In good faith.
Of course. And she'll move like her hair to show like the back of her neck.
Yeah,
Where-
and in the back of her neck you see this garnet studded gem that seems to be embedded in her very skin, with like gold and like silver cracks or fissures in her skin, sort of stretching up like the back of her head and down like her shoulder blades. But it's just this garnet encrusted
Wait,
gem
she
just
finally
embedded.
showed us this?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yep.
Van looks at it. Is it red because it can explode? Looking into me.
It is not red to explode. It is how I am vigilant of what Tessa is doing, and it's how I also channel some of my abilities to her. If anything were to happen to it, she would no longer be my warlock.
If we covered it with a band-aid or something, would it stop you from seeing things?
No.
In my head, Brihik will hear. Now that we've seen sort of like his mark, I can only wonder what he could do to Tessera to make his wants and desires be achieved. I'm not magically inclined, but I do wonder if he can have some sort of hold on Tessera.
In your head, you hear back. He can try, and not without a fight.
If something like that were to occur, I think we know where we would have to target.
He looks at you in your eyes and just gives like a very earnest, like one very earnest nod, like abso-fucking-lutely.
Yep.
Well, that was my sign of good faith. Please continue talking about how Tessera's relationship is with me, but I will warn you. The world does not look kindly upon warlocks, and I do not need my enemies knowing that Tessera is mine. I'd rather keep that card close to my chest.
I have one more very important question. Probably the grandest and most important one. Does he look at me?
Yeah.
I pull up one hand. Rock Queen or Harbinger? What sounds better?
Yeah, we should probably ask you about that, Mr. Demir. What the fuck is a harbinger, and why is it Tessera?
Yeah, I was about to ask that same question. If we are, still speaking in good faith.
He kind of weighs the pros and cons of, like, talking about it.
You've already trusted us with the opals and the elementals.
Many of my enemies believe in prophecies and stories. And if they were to find out you were my warlock, they would soon believe that you would be a harbinger of that prophecy.
Prophecy.
It is better to explain after you visit the sunken temple, but the full title, if you choose to look into it yourself, it's called the Harbinger of Earth and Stone.
Ooh. All right. She'll look at him like earnestly, and she will say, "Thank you," like because he's actually telling us shit.
He looks uncomfortable, but he's like, I did what I had to do because otherwise you were gonna start blabbing shit that I didn't need you to. He's a you know him. He's a man that's like, if you're gonna be saying shit, I'd rather I be there to steer the conversation.
So Trident, I might have missed this, Emily. Sir, please excuse me if I did. Trident, sunken temple, whatever, all that temple stuff. What should we expect? Do you know of any creatures or things that would lay in our way to get to that?
It's been centuries since I visited the sunken city. And let me rephrase, it wasn't sunken when I had last been there. So I do not know what to expect, other than that it is there.
Alright.
Is the trident hot? No, I'm kidding.
Actually.
But please return to your game of past the familiar. And he kind of like glances to Lambert.
No, you still haven't answered my question.
Which was...
Payment for the quest.
Oh, you're still on that. If you are able to successfully retrieve the Triton, I'll give each of you a boon.
I put up a hand for those of us who are not knowledgeable in such thing. What does that mean?
It means I will give you an ability bestowed upon by me as a Tao that you will find useful.
Let's just say for funsies, if you were ever to perish fully, would that then become useless?
He laughs and says, oh yes. Yes, it would.
To get the boon, do we have to get a little rock shoved in our neck?
No. You're not becoming a warlock or anything like that. It's a gift. To ensure that you become strong enough to help Tessera.
Is this a normal gift, or is this a favor?
I'll give you a +1 roll then.
Van,
He doesn't say that.
like, I know, if you listen to that, Van be like, all right, guys, pack it up. We're going right now. Let's go.
Hey, I'm a fan of your dad. Your dad's so cool. No, because he was trying to make, like, is it a Feywild gift that could be really good or really bad? Is this, like, a normal gift?
It's a boon from an elemental. That's the best he could describe it.
Alright.
But he bids you all a farewell, and you watch as the rocks and the fire kind of start to fall apart, and they sort of collapse back into the pile.
Grab Lambert before he falls into the fire and go.
Well, he rolled Lambert away.
Oh, okay.
But you do see Lambert waddle back over to the fire and starts trying to restack the rocks as if to like, oh no, he fell over.
Come here, Lambert.
Well, at least we found out what Lambert is. He's a familiar, apparently.
So, is there anything more we need to discuss, or can we go to bed?
Nope. Circle is done. Everyone, go to bed. Go do what you're doing. We leave first thing in the morning to the city.
Let's get to Bycrest already. We have a lot of things to do.
You're like, you have that moment where you're all starting to disperse, and like Aldrin kind of looks to Braun and goes, "What the fuck was all of that?" Right? And Braun kind of gives him this look and goes, "Don't worry about it. It's actually not the weirdest thing I've seen happen with this group." And they have this shared moment of like, well, what the fuck have you seen? Well, let's start with the undead.
You just hear from Zelina's tent, "Go to bed!"
Yeah. You all get a long rest.
I'd like to do just a very quick little tat to Brehik, if that's okay. Very quick.
Uh-huh.
I'm clicking the alarm.
Just
button.
probably as we're like going off all to our respective beds. Are we okay?
He kind of looks at you and says, "Well, we're still friends, and we always will be, if that's what you're asking."
I want to try, and I'll try and look at things your way more.
Finn, it isn't that you aren't seeing my way of things. That isn't it at all. It is that you have no faith in me. That hurts the most. And he just puts a hand on your shoulder and he like squeezes it lovingly, with a hint, like you see a hint of not like anger or irritation or frustration, but it looks more hurt.
Mhm.
And he just smiles at you and says, "Don't worry, Finn. I do and will always love you. You are like a sister to me." And he flashes a smile and says, "Now I need to bed down. I am exhausted from the day."
Same. Alright. Back to her spot on Dressel.
Bedtime. Ooh, look at that music playing.
Skip it, Emily. We want to get to Bycrest. No travel.
I was muted. I was making the joke where I said there were 2 days left to Bycrest. And then you were like, skip it. And I said, yep. Anything anyone wants to do over the 2 days that you head to Bycrest.
Yeah, so I want to write out a whole manifesto of laws and I'm just kidding.
Cool, so you enter
Manifesto.
Bycrest. Let me pull up the...
That's a very well written manifesto, Mr. Brehik.
It was a joke. I'm not writing one.
Oh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this town. Oh, this is such a cool town.
Wait, hold on. I gotta ask Muffin if she was okay.
What?
Bycrest sits on the edge of a captivating landscape that transitions from the cozy village to the eerie expanse of the boil beds. This swamp is a dense labyrinth of twisted trees, hanging moss, and murky waters. The air is thick with humidity, and the croaking of frogs and the occasional distant call of some swamp creatures create a haunting atmosphere. The hamlet itself is a cluster of simple cottages with thatched roofs, surrounded by patches of cleared land where residents grow essential crops and tend to small herds of livestock. The atmosphere itself is one of simplicity and community. Villagers here live in harmony with the swamp, relying on its resources for subsistence and trade. The close-knit community engages in daily activities, with hunting parties setting out into the surrounding woods, fishermen navigating the nearby waters. They tend to practice a lot of pottery here, using the rich mud from the oil beds as like a base for the clay. It has become one of the most beloved pastimes in this village, and it brings a lot of the villagers together. Despite the mysterious nature of the swamp itself, the town has a sense of familiarity and shared purpose among its residents.
Muffin's gonna hang back just a second to catch Brehik and Tessera, and she'll whisper super dejectedly I have a feeling this town probably doesn't have a library.
Well, one wouldn't know.
As you say that, as soon as you enter the front gates, Bycrest is known for having the biggest library in the Crouzyan Empire. Funny enough.
Research time.
Oh wow, that's funny.
Hold on, let me get all the...
I'm assuming it's this
I-
one right here.
I like to feel like Tessera and Brehik knew that, being Empire kids or whatever, but Muffin was just like, dang.
There you go.
So, what's the plan here, gang? Cause I want to be honest, I do kind of want to go to the library.
I'd also like
This is-
to go. Her?
Zoe's already walked off.
There's a university here?
Yes.
Damn.
Well, bye, Captain.
I mean, yeah, I guess we're just going where we're going.
You know, she
Captain,
does this every
General, where are
time.
you going?
No, I was just
He's already
commenting
dead.
that my sister does this every time we enter a city. It's like she doesn't want to be seen with us. She runs off immediately. We fight something, she's there, and then she runs off again until we're ready to leave.
To be fair, though, she's the reason we've gotten rooms in every town so far.
I mean, we could also just pay for them, but she decides to pay for them, so I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I know that's what she did with us. She would play music, get rooms, get them cheaper, all that. This just seems like she's
anyway.
almost avoiding us. This is like the 4th time.
I don't think it's anything malicious.
Oh, it 100% is. It's Selena.
Anyway, General Bron,
Bron kind
Mr.
of
Hallowbrook, where do you guys think you're gonna go?
Hallowbrook's like, I'm gonna get on the road soon, so if you got a letter, now's the time to write it.
I did totally write a letter those last 2 days,
Okay.
but I'll probably message you about it later.
That's fine. Yeah, but Hollowbrook's like, alright, we're at Bycrest, and he'll kind of like look at everyone. He'll say, thank you for your help on the road. I won't forget this, and our paths will cross again one day.
It doesn't mean much, but I am sorry about your men.
He kind of offers a little bit of like a smile, and he'll like reach out and kind of like ruffles your hair a little bit. And he says, "You're doing great, kid."
I look to Bron. Bron, do you have any place you want to be? Because if not, I need you.
Braun
like to
awkwardly
be
is like
helpful.
rubbing the back of his neck. He's like, I have to stop at the outpost first.
Okay.
You're all welcome to come with. To the this is actually the training center that I was stationed out here for a short bit in my early years.
Are you going to get a payment for the bandits?
I think that's what
can.
David is doing.
Yes, but I do also have to report a few things, and it would be nice to see some of my old colleagues.
This is off topic. Zelina. That quiver of elven make. Did you ever actually show that to Van? I don't know if we went over that.
Nope. Well, probably within the 2 days travel, she probably would have showed it to you.
Would I have known what that was, Emily?
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
There you go. You want to move your tokens wherever.
I would have totally forgotten it existed.
So, Ron is heading to the training outpost. He's like, you're welcome to come with me, or if you want to stop by later.
I assume number 2 is the library, or is it the big building?
It's 2.
2. The big building you see upon first entering is this massive church.
You know what? As Bron's leaving, I will shout out, meet me at the library if that's okay. I'd love an extra pair of eyes.
He gives you a nod, and he's gonna walk off.
And actually, I think Muffin's gonna stop at the church first. So you two can go to the library, but I think she's gonna stop at the church.
Alright, I'll watch where everyone's scattering. Brick, put your token where you're going. So, Zelina.
Yes.
Just to let you know, so as you start going out that pathway, it goes into just straight swamp. Like, as far as the eye can see. The shaman's hut often is like a day away.
Dang, never the day she was gonna ask for someone else for
Damn it, Braydick.
Like, you can just, walking out, you can see, it's like, it's a walk. Like, you have to go into the swamp.
But knowing that it's a day away, that changes.
I apologize. I saw you immediately want to go to the shaman, and I'm like, it is a day away.
Trying to get that herbs, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
She'll probably... Look, I'm trying to find healing herbs for people. Thank you very much. She's probably gonna go head up to the Ruby Guard training outpost to see all the hot sweaty...
With Braun.
Well,
Oh,
before
yeah.
Braun. She left before Braun, but she wants to see all the hot, sweaty people.
Gotcha. So, we're gonna go through this.
Muffin was gonna keep secret.
I want to do Van's so bad because he's going to the blacksmith.
Yeah.
And all of my stuff is randomly rolled.
Nice.
Am I about to be very angry?
You're about to get really upset. Well, it's not. It's not the name.
That's the supply shrub.
I know. Well, it's the. I used the template because it's still an Elven. The template piece. There you go.
And there's a great club.
There's a +1 great club here. And a trident of fish command.
And we found the trident, y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we convince him that that's the trident?
It is a replica.
So fucking upset. For those out of game, the past couple games I have been in, everything has been randomly rolled, and for some reason, none of the loot or purchasables go towards any of my characters recently.
Have any of the loot gone to any of our characters, to be honest?
In
any
this
of the
one,
random rolls?
No. In this game, no.
To be fair, you also haven't been in situations with a lot of loot. Now you're going into a sunken temple full of treasure, so...
Also,
But like,
Zelina,
shop-wise, I don't think any of us have
No, you're
needed
not
any of
wrong.
the specials.
Zelina, are you
Yeah, I bought stuff. They were,
selling?
you
Well, you guys bought healing potions and shit. Are you selling those gems?
which gyms?
The ones that we got from the bandit camp and before?
Where's the
I
blacksmith?
just have the gyms from the bandit camp.
Where's the
Did you
blacksmith?
already sell the other ones? Because I know you were keeping track of it. I thought there was more. I didn't know if you had sold them yet.
Let me check my notes.
Where's the blacksmith?
I'm gonna
So-
use this ladder.
Saying, or so basically, going up here, you see the blacksmith looks like a timber brick 2-story building with a white tile roof and a small enclosed deck. It is very well lit with a few magical torches and contains a large candelabra that hangs over the main foyer. And there is a lot of dust everywhere from just like the smoke that comes from the forge. And you see a male elf stands a little under 5'1", a little bit more bulky in frame, very muscular, particularly in his legs. Like, he looks like he doesn't skip leg day. He wears this white poncho that kind of matches the roof tile, that over like his colored trousers and shirt. He has long auburn hair kept up in like a rat tail, with these dull like brown eyes that kind of look like he died on the inside at some point in his life.
Haven't we all?
And he turns and goes, "Oh, a traveler. Surprise, surprise. What can I do for you?"
Well, I was wanting to see, looks at his specials, if you had anything along the lines that could aid in archery outside of the normal mundane.
I got some silver from an adventurer that passed through here not long ago. I could make you some silver-tipped arrows if you're planning to fight some werewolves.
That is a very oddly specific thing to say we could fight. Are there werewolves around here?
I don't know. Not that I know of.
I mean, how many and how much? You can never be too safe, but...
Make you a batch of 20 for, we'll say 20 gold.
Yes, I could probably do that.
He nods.
20 gold.
You can come pick him up in a few hours.
Let me think. There aren't actual silver-tipped arrows here, are they?
They don't, he's gonna make them for you.
No, I mean, like, there isn't any you can put on, like, D&D Beyond.
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay. That's it.
Well, if that's it, I'll see you in a few hours, boy.
Yep, and he'll fucking leave, I guess.
You go to walk out,
Oh no.
and sort of like, I don't say comedic, right? But someone is sprinting and absolutely like almost barrels you down,
Mm.
like off your feet.
Oh, my expertise capabilities of dodging, that's a joke. Okay.
Where is their thing? Hold on, I'm trying to find.
Keep a hand on your your gold
Oh,
pouch.
I know. There's a lot of money in there. I've been saving up for a bow.
Where is?
Might
You'll
just have
get
to.
that bow eventually.
I will eventually. That embraces of archery, and then my life will be complete.
I mean, but you got some silver tip arrows, so you can.
I
full
do,
damage
which
to
means
creatures.
werewolves and devils
shit.
will be perfectly fine to hit.
As you sort of go sprawling out Or you maybe roll me a dex save.
Don't do this to me.
Natural one.
Natural one. Let's go.
I clicked it. Uh-oh.
The lag.
Either the lag
Nothing.
or I didn't actually click it. It popped up. No? No?
Looks like your thing broke.
Uh-oh. Let me refresh this. Yes,
Since
no,
it can't roll,
okay.
it must be natural.
Alright, I'll just roll a d20 on here for now. I don't know why it stopped working all of a sudden. Plus 6 is 15.
So you don't lose your balance too terribly, but this poor woman does as you watch, like she's carrying this large like wooden crate that seems to have like a various amount of like ore in it.
How?
Welcome
what
to
would it-
Van's meat cute.
Well, we'll see. It might be this guy's wife. Two things. What would it take to help catch whatever is about to fall and/or look for a ring on that finger?
Roll me a dex save and a perception.
Still not rolling for some reason. That's weird. 8 for the dex save. It rolls perception. 21.
I mean, you don't catch the box of ore as it kind of like hits the ground. You hear the splintering of the box. But with a 21, she has no ring.
Oh, okay. He's like, oh, my bad. Hold on. Let me help you with that.
She's like sits up. She's like kind of rubbing her head. You see it. She's a very young human woman, short, very curly hair, like kind of like tight 4C curls. With this much tanner skin. And you would notice, at least with the 21, she has ink stain all along her fingers. Wears very simple, practical clothing. And like looking at the ore on the ground, she's like, oh god, thank you so much. Please let me help. And then she starts like trying to pick up the ore with you, and then she kind of does a double take, and she drops the ore. Oh my god, it's an Eladrin. It's an actual Eladrin. You're an Eladrin.
Yes, since the day I was born. Something about that.
Like if you could see like sparkles in this like woman's eyes.
My sister immediately saying, run.
Run fast.
Run fast now. He continued to pick up the ore, would say, is there something of note about that, or... Nibbly? Did I die? Hello?
No, you're still here.
Oh
No, I was muted. I said, I can't explain how viciously, right? She like grabs your face, starts
Whoa.
tilting your head left and right, starts like poking at your ears, looking at your hair, sees your arm, starts freaking out over your arm.
After a moment, like he's like, oh, is that interesting? Oh, and he's like getting grabbed, and he's like, please take me out for dinner first. Come on, show a little
Okay.
decorum.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm getting way too carried away. What is an Eladrin doing in Bycrest?
Walking, buying arrows, adventuring.
You know what? That's fair enough. I'm acting like an idiot. I'm so sorry. I got carried away. Sorry for running into you.
That's perfectly fine. Is there a reason you're so interested in Eladrin? Or...
I've only read about you in books and stories. sparingly. I mean, you're from the Feywilds. Creatures from the Feywilds don't necessarily hang around the material plane. They tend to see it as more of like a nuisance or a problem. So to actually see a ladrin.
Really? I mean, the last town over had a hag in it. I mean, it did have a hag in it, I guess I should say.
Alright, so you don't have a choice anymore as you feel yourself sort of being dragged through the streets of Bycrest by this woman.
Looks back at Drizzle, who's probably very disgruntledly following along. Looks at the smith. Sorry for the mess, I guess. And...
Oh, right, you know what? You're right, 1 second. And she goes back, takes all the ore, puts it on his counter, and he kind of does like a suck. He's like, thank you, I guess, Lyra. And she's
Don't
like,
worry,
"Yep,
Van.
no problem.
Don't worry, Van. Just let me and Finn know, and we'll have the fastest impromptu wedding you've ever seen.
Yep.
While she's out there, I look at Drizzle like, I can't say I'm not necessarily turned off from the forcefulness or energy.
Jesus.
But I feel like this is more of like your science experiment walked in on you, and less of, you know, he's just like looking at Drizzle.
Drizzle's just walking just like you made your bed, I'm not helping you.
Yeah.
Energy.
You will wait for this person.
She comes back and she's like, sorry. Anyways, can you come with me to the library? I wanna make sure sorry, let me my name is Lyra Starwind. I'm the scribe and translator in the library. My job is to sort of transcribe stories and legends and languages. And then she'll start speaking primordial to you, and she's like, I've dabbled in, like, I know 7 languages, like, I went to this university, it's super prestigious, and I need to know your life story.
He says, well, I know primordial, good crushing rocks to you too. Dwarvish, elvish, sylvan, and obviously common.
I had no idea that the Latrin were so well learned.
Well, that's also partially because I travel quite a bit as a ranger, but also, how do you spell that name? Okay. How do you want to know how to spell that name? Damn it, she doesn't have art. No.
She does not.
She will. I won't allow it.
Anyways, if you could accompany to the library so I can transcribe your words real quick.
I mean, what are you wanting to know specifically? I like long walks in the woods. Good at a good long winter night.
Figuring we'd start with the hags, but sure, we can go into that.
No, you want to know the adventures, got it. Well, I
And
can give you an impromptu. If you're going to the library, we will probably run into one of my other traveling companions, who very much enjoys stories as well, so...
There's others?
Well, they're not an Eladrin, they are a tiefling. The other Eladrin, my sister, is somewhere else in town, probably looking at sweaty guys.
You have a sister?
I technically...
Another Eladrin! There's two Eladrins in one... If I had a copper for every Eladrin that I've seen in Bycrest, I would have 2 copper!
Well, technically 2. There's also another sister and another brother somewhere else, but...
You have a lot of explaining to do, and you are just being dragged through the streets.
Okay.
Switching over to Zelina.
Hello.
You see the Ruby Guard Training Outpost, a formidable and well-fortified complex located on the outskirts of... Well, not outskirts per se, sorry. It's in the outskirts in the sense of, like, they're located in the capital, so this kind of feels like it's an outpost in the boonies.
Mm-hmm.
This outpost is designated to blend both rigorous and military training and noble education, preparing recruits to become elite soldiers and protectors of the Empire. You see that this outpost is surrounded by high walls of sturdy stone, reinforced with red and gold banners fluttering in the wind with the emblem of the Ruby Guard. The main gate is an imposing structure of wrought iron, flanked by statues of past heroes of the Ruby Guard.
Is it open?
Approaching what look like parade grounds, the gate is not open.
Try to knock to see if someone answers.
You knock on the gate. You don't hear anything. You don't see anything.
I check to see if it's locked.
It is locked.
I'm just gonna misty step in.
You misty step in, and you start to hear alarms going off.
What did you do?
I misty step in. You gotta make a person.
But holy fuck, you fucked around and went into the one place that was magical proof as fuck.
Well, you know, I'm
This
here to do
alarm blares, and you hear the sound of footsteps running out, and in particular you would see one man running out, a tall and imposing figure with a stern demeanor, short graying hair and a well-trimmed beard, probably a man in his late 40s, comes walking out. And he yells, "What's the meaning of this?"
Well, came to see how well prepped the Ruby God is. He actually had a quite, fascinating time to respond.
He narrows his eyes, and you watch as he goes to brandish his sword and shield.
Nope, she's gone.
Who? Oh, no.
Wait, so hold on. The barracks were there, and they just walked into the barracks, not like the public place, just like.
Well, no, this is the Ruby Guard train. This is a singular outpost.
But I'm assuming it's not a public entrance training ground.
It's not a public entrance.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, my Discord cut out. Emily, could you repeat what he said?
Yeah, he said, "What's the meaning of this?" You said you were testing them, and he kind of narrows his eyes, and he says, "I wasn't made aware of any testing today. You're trespassing on our grounds. You'd best turn around now. See yourself out."
Unfortunately, I can't, as the gate is locked. And I'm also waiting for someone.
He looks like he's about to start laying into you, and then his gaze kind of moves behind you, and he sees Braun approaching. Braun does the moment where he gets to the gate and he stops. He sees Zelina on the other side, sees that the gate is closed and locked, and has this oh no, oh boy.
Yoo-hoo, Braun dear.
This older gentleman kind of turns towards these archery posts, and he says, "Open the gates." And you hear as the rearing of the chains as the gate is slowly lifted, and Braun kind of makes his way in a little hurriedly, and he goes, my apologies, my friend ran ahead." And you see this man and Braun kind of have a moment where they look at each other, and then the man slaps Braun on the back and says, "Well, if you told me you were bringing your girlfriend along, we would have been prepared for you." And they start he starts laughing, and Braun's "No, that's not what this is, sir." And he's like, come in. Any friend of Braun's is friend of us. Come in.
Zelina will just walk in, just observing the place. You know, so this is how the Ruby Guard trains. Like, she's very interested to see.
Yep, you come in, you see large parade grounds, which are like these large open fields at the center of the outpost that are usually used for drills, formations, ceremonies. It is meticulously maintained. And you even see surrounding the field are like bleachers for like observing officers and visiting dignitaries. And he'll take you on a little tour. He shows you the barracks, which are a series of well-constructed buildings which recruits live in and rest. Each barrack is decorated with the colors of the Ruby Guard, featuring red and gold accents. Inside the rooms are simple yet comfortable, with bunk beds, storage chests, and communal areas for relaxation. You see training halls, large indoor spaces equipped with various training apparatuses like dummies, targets, obstacle courses. The halls are designed to simulate different combat environments, from close quarters all the way to ranged. You would see several men and women training, sweaty. Many of them look like warriors on the field. And when Braun enters the room, it is like they erupt. He gets dogpiled by like 6 people who are actively like, one like puts an arm over his shoulder and starts like giving him a noogie. The other one's like asking him about his vacation. The other one's like, why the fuck did you come back? I thought we got rid of you. And you can see there's this healthy sense of camaraderie between Braun and the other guards in this town.
Is there an ex-girlfriend here?
You see an armory, a mess hall. They even have a command center in the combat pits, which is like an outdoor area where they do like hand-to-hand sparring. They even have a medical wing for if they get injured. Like this is almost like a mini functioning town in on itself. Like guards come in and they almost never need to leave.
Well, being someone from the military, Xavier can vouch for this too. A military base is technically a mini city.
Yeah.
A city.
Yup. It's a functioning place.
The leader just looks around. She's like, yep, this will do. This will do. She's like, oh, Brown dear, I see that you're having fun with your friends. Potentially, can we get rooms for the others here?
He kind of stops, and you see this older man, and he says, that's actually what I was going to talk to you about. See, I've been traveling with a group of adventurers, and it's sort of a long story that I'm sure you're going to want to hear. Should we get the other captains? And he nods. And he looks to you, Zelina, and this older gentleman, still imposing, still a bit more, like, stoic, goes up, and he puts a hand on your shoulder and says, any friends of Braun are welcome here. If you're needing rest for the night, we'd be happy to offer you a space.
Wonderful. Hey, you should ask him sometime how we saved him. It's a fun story.
I fully plan to hear that one. Braun, he kind of looks to Braun and smiles, and he goes, ah, yes, Braun, the ever-valiant Ruby God from Kimnia, had to be saved by some adventurers. I would love to hear that story. And some others start ribbing him as well.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I am Ulrich Drakemore. I am the commanding officer here for the outpost.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet your acquaintance. I am Zelina Cardano, a member of La Familia.
You say Cardano. And his eyes narrow.
Oh no!
You fucking know Archie.
No,
Yes,
they know
he-
Amari.
Oh, that too, they might know Amari. Yeah.
Come to my office real quick, if you don't mind, Miss Zelina.
Oh, my private. No,
There's
no
like
man's
16
private.
wanted posters of Zelina up in his office.
Who knows? Maybe. she's there. And she's like, well, certainly. O'Brien, I shall be back.
He has like, oh, okay. He leads you to the command center, the administrative heart of the outpost, where strategic planning and decisions are made. Very well fortified building that also houses the officers, or it houses the offices for the commanding officers. And it has a large war room with maps, charts, communication, like magical communication means.
Oh boy.
And you watch as he goes to this bookshelf and he pulls out a binder. And he slides it to you and says, "Is Braun aware of your dossier?"
I knew it!
Well, that depends on which one you're talking about.
All 72 of them. And he pushes the whole binder to you. That is just labeled Zelina Cardano.
Ooh.
Looks through it. She's like, oh, that was a fun time. That was a great time. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he kind of knows that I'm an Eladrin from the Feywild. We do have, you know, consults.
Now, they're mostly petty crimes, not something the Ruby God plans to get involved in, but I should at least warn you that you might want to watch yourself around the Ruby God in the future. You might want to keep your last name in check.
Well, you gave me yours. I decided to give you mine, but I can understand that being on this material plane is difficult for Fae to abide by the rules that you guys go by. So with that, I am sorry.
Understood. My next question. Do you have a younger sister, by chance, that goes by Amari Cardano?
Also called it.
Well, yes, I do have a sister named Amari. I do have a brother named Van, and I also have a brother named Archie.
Amari tried to join the Ruby God about 2 years ago.
I'm sorry, beg your pardon?
Of course she fucking did.
She thought the uniforms were shiny and left because it was not real Ruby. She lasted 16 hours.
You know, that sounds like Amari.
The only reason I ask is because this was the outpost she tried to join.
Do you know where she's at now?
It was 2 years ago. I do not, unfortunately.
That's a bubble. I know Van would love to know about this here. It's at least gives him somewhat of an idea of where Amari might be. Since she is the last one that we don't know where her location is.
But if you are in need of any assistance while you are here, you are still a guest, and you are bronze guests, so we will treat you with respect accordingly. Just in the future, when visiting other Ruby Gods, I'd keep your last name a bit more private. Though I respect him, he's like, no, I get why you told me. He's like, I'm just letting you know for the future.
Well, much appreciated. I mean, it is going to be hard to do, but I understand.
Alright. If you have any questions, there's 3 other captains here. You have Alara, who is our training instructor. We have Thorn, who's our drill sergeant, and Lyanna, who's our chief medic.
Ooh. Well,
Not Thorn, Torn. That's his name, Torn.
actually, those are all lovely people that we should definitely meet. I believe, because I saw the wonderful training ground you had, an obstacle course. I know a friend that would love to try that out.
I need to debrief with Braun first, but I don't see anything wrong with you using the facilities in moderation.
Of course, we would definitely use it with respect and dignity that it is.
Basically, don't leave your fucking weights in the middle of the goddamn weight room, like my other piece of shit recruit.
Oh, we would never do stuff like that.
That is all. I just wanted to confirm you were that, Zelina. The infamous Eladrin beauty who screwed over Sildove herself. Alara Stolman's her younger sister, you know.
Alara, who?
Alara Stormwind.
Who's that?
The training instructor.
Oh,
Is the younger sister of Sildove Stormwind, who is the captain of the Silver Falcons.
I'm like, well, does she know of me?
Probably.
Oh, well, she'd be very interested. Most people really haven't seen me. Well, it'll be fine.
She might not recognize you, but she'll know your name.
Well, if I say Zelina, she might put one and two together, or she might ask me for my last name. You know what? I think we should have fun with this, actually. If she does ask my name, I should tell her my own name.
Just please don't cause trouble in my barracks, that's all I ask.
There's gonna be no fighting in your barracks, okay?
See to it. You're dismissed, Cardano.
I do try to walk out with the dossier.
You feel like a hand on the top of your head, like,
Are you sure you don't need this, do you?
drop it.
Very well.
Like a dog. What do you have in your mouth?
He has, like, the dad smile of just, like, nice try.
It's just being an Eladrin. That's what Eladrin do. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. It's in your packet, Mike.
Yeah, but I can still ask her to spell it for me. Instead of going and searching through 100 pages of a
silver-
packet.
Just type in the Silver Falcons, man.
But yeah, as you head back down, to Braun, who is sort of talking to the others, reminiscing about old times. We shift our focus a bit to Miss Finn. And because we are running a little low on time here, we're going to start next session with Finn, and then we will go to Tess and Brehik, and we will continue onward.
Thank you all for watching. Definitely more of a talking session, but I feel like the next session might also be the same.
I mean, who would expect Amari to try to join the Ruby Gunner?
Me.
I mean, I knew she'd probably join a cult first, but
Well, the reason being is, like you said, there was a cool outfit.
No, I know.
Or potentially a hot dude or girl. We don't know.
She lasted 16 hours.
I'm not surprised at all.
Like, I'm gone. I'm
She
surprised
realized
made
it took
16 hours.
actual work, and she said, "Nah, fam."
Like, she.
Well,
Anyways,
you want to do our sign off?
Well, who you asking?
We have a sign off?
Who you asking him?
No, do our sign off.
We have a sign off? When have we had a sign
I
off?
can sign off.
do your end of the thing
Do it.
announcement
Do it.
thing.
Do your
Thank
sign.
you for watching the Chronicles of the Grand Nation, the Silent
I
War.
said that.
We...
We love you
Dylan
all.
sounded so defeated. I said that.
Thanks
No,
for
yes.
watching, everyone. Please go check out Angela and Tom. Go check out our Discord and be excited for the next hub chat, which might have some new stuff happening.
Yep, and
Yeah.
tune in next Monday for the next episode. We'll see you next week.
Bye bye.
Are we good?
Yeah.